Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of EShot. I need to fix Kio's webcam. There we go. It is now fixed. We are good there. Welcome to episode 2.
Episode 2.
That's right. Hopefully, everyone watched episode 1. That would be great if you did.
If you didn't, it's on YouTube.
That's right. If
/
you didn't,
EShot Nation.
yes, it is up. You can search for the channel now. It's good to go there. So, I mean, let's just jump into it. We only have a couple topics today. Not a lot that we know of went on with any Call of Duty rosters or anything like that. Big news over the weekend though. UFC 229. Conor McGregor, Habib. Let me just get your opinion right off the bat. What did you think?
I mean, I'm not a fan of fighting per se, but I was hyped for this fight. I found it a little on the boring side to watch, but I understand why that is. And that to me is what made it even more amazing to like watch it as it was happening, to sort of just, as someone who doesn't understand the sport, to just sort of see what Khabib did and just realize like what was happening to McGregor in the moment. That's what got me excited. The fight itself wasn't very, in my opinion, fun to watch from the outside point of view.
Yeah.
Some of the other, I guess, compared to some of the other fights earlier in the night that I did see.
Which did you see, like the main card fights, or did you see like the prelims? Or
I saw, if I recall correctly, I watched a little bit of the first fight, which was the girls.
Yeah,
I think
Michelle
it was
Watterson.
Yes,
and the white girl.
Like maybe half a round of that, just solid watching. I had it up for most of the time though, and the heavyweight I definitely watched. I actually tuned out like right as the last month, so I had to go back and watch that. That was not good, but I caught the interview, which was amazing. That interview, I have to say, legendary interview. What do you think about that? Because like,
oh god,
that's something else.
No, that was funny. Like, take his shorts off. He's like, my balls are hot. Like, really, man? You're gonna just, I mean, I get it. Like, that's who he is. He's just a character. But like, dude, you're on live TV. And then when Joe Rogan asks about a title shot, like you're next in line. It's like, man, I don't even want to think about that right now. Like, are you kidding me? You just got asked about
cardio.
Yeah, you just got asked about getting a title shot to be the best heavyweight in the world, and you're worried about sitting down and getting more cardio in. Like,
I mean, now, is that humility, or is that just like this guy doesn't care at this point? Like, he's just.
I mean, I kind of like, he just didn't, like, that guy was so tired. Like, he could give two shits if he just got a title shot.
From what I saw, he was getting beat up on.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be over, and the other guy was going to win in rounds. And so when I heard that it was a knockout in the last like minute, I was like, okay, I clearly tuned out like literally the wrong time.
No, I mean, yeah, if you watch the whole fight, I mean, according to, is it Derek Lewis? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So according to him and all the like pre-fight stuff, he's like, man, I'm knocking him out in the first round. If it goes more than that, I'm done. So, I mean, you see him have to go even into the second round. It's like, this fight's over. Or Alexander Volkov. Okay, I have it up now. Like, he's just gonna run over Lewis, and it's not even gonna be fun. And I mean, he did too. For those first two rounds, even like almost all the third round, it was all Volkov.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a one-sided fight, and then when that, I mean, I don't know. I'm irritated that I missed the ending, like right there in the minute. But man,
he finally got that like haymaker, and it just happened to connect. And, was it 4:49? He had 10 seconds to get a knockout.
Oh my god, dude!
He ends up getting the knockout. That's.
I guess I'd react the same way in the interview if that's my case.
Yeah, I mean, your only fight, and to think he also had a herniated disc while he was fighting.
Oh my god!
So
this dude is.
Homeboy was hurting. Like,
yeah.
And to come out of nowhere and do that was fun to see. But yeah, that post-fight conference was ridiculous. Yeah, that was when Joe Rogan, man, I'm gonna come on your show. Let's just smoke weed. Like, really, man?
And he's like, anytime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, awesome. Let's go to the next fight here. OSP versus Dominic Reyes. That was pretty boring, in my opinion.
I don't even think I saw that one.
Yeah, I mean, not very. I don't know. I mean, Reyes showed why he's, a good up and comer, but wasn't very entertaining, at least in my opinion. Did you see Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis though?
Was that that was fight right before?
Yeah,
right?
right before Connor.
I caught a little bit of. I'm assuming what was the last round. I don't know what round
Yeah,
is.
they
I
only
caught a
went
little
2
bit of
rounds,
that.
yeah.
I was playing Fortnite at the time, so I was trying to multitask. Didn't work out.
Fair.
Well.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. I mean, Tony Ferguson, 6 months off like a major knee surgery, came out and just brawled. Like that was a fun. I can't imagine they don't have a rematch like soon, because Anthony Pettis was coming on and he broke his hand on Ferguson's jaw. And
Really?
He the punch that rocked Ferguson broke his hand. He shattered it.
Oh snap!
So that's why the fight ended, was he couldn't go.
Oh jeez, that's no bueno.
Yeah, they have this like super good fight. Both guys are just loving like getting their shit rocked, and you go into a third round where it was really, I mean, Ferguson probably had it, but yeah, going into a third round where both guys are still fighting, like having a great time, and then you they just happen to have the coaches like mic on, and Pettis walks over and he's like, "Man, my hand's broke." And his coach's like, "What? When did you break it?"
Oh man.
And so I mean, at that point, if you're the coach, you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, shit, I can't put my guy out there." Like,
You can't go any further at that point.
no,
Yeah.
But I mean, very fun. It was a fun fight to watch. I think even just general person would, as long as they don't mind all the blood that like came out, they don't get grossed out by that. I mean, it was just fun to watch.
Yeah, I had a coworker who was saying that. Yeah, every time they got punched, they just laughed.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're beating yourself up for money, and you love it, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So good for you, man. Like, love
And
what you do, but
And I mean, at the end, like, these guys were all on the main card, which was the pay-per-view. They're all taking like a good chunk of money.
oh yeah, I mean,
Like,
this-
hell, put me in there. I'll do it for what they're making. I'll take my punch and tap. Like, that's all I need.
that's all I need.
Boring ass fight, but I'll take that money and run.
Make a few arrangements beforehand.
Yeah, just makes Be like, man, you're getting the win. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
don't
not
even
gonna try.
worry about it. Maybe pull off that punch a little bit,
Yeah, like go a little softer, and I'll just act like I got knocked out. It'll be good for you.
Land a roll in Hollywood after that.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, why not?
That's pretty solid.
That would be.
Ah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyway, main event.
Yeah.
This is what I want to get down to, really.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to hear your thoughts. Like, I want to talk specifically first 2 rounds. What do you think?
First 2 rounds. Okay, so I did actually just happen to watch Joe Rogan's podcast with John Kavanaugh, Connor's coach, today. And
I did catch a little bit of that.
yeah,
Yes.
that was essentially their plan. Their plan was to essentially hope that Khabib got tired, and they were just gonna rock with him taking Connor down. Like, they really thought that. I mean,
Really?
yeah, and in their defense though too, is when you watch all Khabib's like fights, he gets tired after the second round. Like, his takedown offense goes down quite a bit.
I mean, we did see that with third round.
Yeah,
we did
he
see how
did
it was
slow
all
down.
mainly
Yeah.
standing. Yeah.
But I mean, a guy like that, and he, I don't. Yeah, I think from a like standpoint of the coach, it made sense. And then to try and get, they knew going in that they would probably lose the first 2 rounds. Which I don't know if that's the right mindset, but at the same time, like,
Worst case scenario, I guess.
yeah,
I mean,
prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
yeah.
And I think at least if we're staying with the first 2 rounds, like when Connor would tag him, and it wasn't often, but it did happen, he would chase him, which his coach between each round's like, stop chasing him. That's how you're getting taken down. Like,
Yeah.
and Connor like wouldn't listen until that third round. I think he did a good job not trying to fight Khabib, and the fact like, I got taken down, I need to use all my energy to get back up. Khabib
So can I ask you about that?
Yeah.
Really quick.
Yeah.
So I wrestled like 1 year in 7th grade, so I know very little. But
Right.
it seems to me that from what I took away from this, if you're the one being taken down, you're using a lot more energy than the person that's holding you down. Is that correct? From what I understand?
Like, so if you're on the ground, you're using more
Like if you're
energy.
Connor, you're
Yeah,
using more energy than Habib in that moment.
being taken down.
Yeah, being taken down the way he held you there. Like really, what I saw, Connor, he was so sort of like you said, it sort of like seemed like he was just laying into it. Like
Yeah.
he was letting him take that. But at the same time, when you look at the third round, Connor looks way more exhausted. He looks way more out of it. I mean, he did take more punches
Oh,
in the second round,
yeah.
but it
That
just seemed
yeah.
like his energy level was even lower than expected for anybody but Conor McGregor himself. So
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. I mean,
I'm sure it's per scenario because I mean, like
yeah,
some people might get up quicker and better, but
yeah.
it,
I
it
mean,
just
at least so in Connor's past fights, he's able to get up very easily. That's just he's able to do that.
mm,
But Habib has such a good like on the ground defense where if you're trying to get up, you're going to use so much more energy.
gotcha.
And then once you get up, Habib is so good at just turning that back around and taking you back down. So it's just going to be a constant cycle of using all your energy, getting up, and then he's going to just take you back down essentially.
Yeah,
So I get why they would want him to be not. I mean, you don't want your guy to obviously be taken down, but you know it's going to happen at some point. So I get like just staying on the ground and just and
mm,
it. I mean, we kind of saw it. Habib did all those punches in the second round, and yeah, that probably killed Connor in a sense. But it like you see the third round, Habib came out kind of slow,
he
at least
did.
slower than the first
Yeah,
two rounds. And that might have had a effect on him. I mean, we'll never know honestly because he continued to do his thing and beat up McGregor, but at least that wise for their plan it worked. But I mean, they just all the punches Connor threw that would have been like normal knockouts just weren't
mm,
connecting that fight. And I don't know if he was just tired and didn't want to like pursue him and try and get that punch, or if he just really wasn't on. And
yeah.
I mean, to think he was 2 years off of MMA and 1 year off of boxing, that's a lot of time in
That
any
is a
sport.
lot of time.
Yeah. And I mean,
I mean,
you can spar all you want, but it's not the same as going in and fighting. Where when Connor was on that run of just beating people consistently, he was fighting every couple months.
oh yeah, day in and day out. It's the same, not the same training, but it's the same type of thing, day in and day out for
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
prepping, relaxing, and then getting back into it. I mean,
Yeah. I
yeah, he
mean,
really had a lot of time off before this fight, which makes it so much more interesting if there is that rematch. Like
yeah.
what would Connor be doing in the in between time if that does get approved? I mean, there's so much more going on there that we
Oh
can't
God, yeah.
speculate that quite yet.
I mean,
But
I will say though that fourth round where Habib did submit Connor, it was very similar to how Nate Diaz submitted him. And Diaz won. He
okay,
essentially gave his back up again, and that's when the person got the choke. Or in Habib's case, it was really just a neck crank, and you can only take so much of that before you tap.
oh yeah,
But he basically did the exact same mistake that he did in the Diaz fight, and you would have hoped or thought he would have learned from that, but I mean, I guess not.
I mean, you're 4 rounds in, and you're just doing anything you can to keep this guy off of you.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you turn the wrong shoulder at the wrong moment, and he's got the advantage. Which, from a spectator point of view, um, that choke out there, it for me it looked like Connor was not in a good position, but it did not look like it was going to be that quick of a turnaround and a tap out. And then, I mean, once I saw the position he was in and the hold, yeah,
yeah,
but it just seemed like that came out so quick. Like Khabib just like was, like you said, I guess it was just on the moment he gave up that back, but
yeah.
it just, yeah, from my point of view, it was just like, okay, they're doing the same thing they've been doing all game, and oh snap, he's in the headlock.
Yeah.
Well, there it is,
I
and
mean,
it happened so fast. I was stunned by it.
yeah, and I mean, I think too. You look at a guy like Habib with his wrestling background, like if he gets your back like that, you know what he's gonna do. And he, I I mean, Connor didn't have his arms like before when he had given his back up. Like he
Mm,
always at least trapped one of the arms, and where Habib was
yeah.
basically in an underhook. So he didn't have the option to get his arm up and start choking him out. Whereas that time he didn't have that control. And any guy that's at that time 26-0, he's gonna he knows what to do when he has both arms in your back. Like that's just a mistake you can't do with a guy like that. But
So, would I be correct to say that I don't want to say the only punch, but the only recognizable, good-looking punch that I saw land in this fight was the third round.
yeah,
When Khabib just hit McGregor and he just went backwards. Like that to
was
me
that
looked like a hit that would knock some people out, and
was
somehow
that
McGregor just stayed alive.
was that the second? Was that the second round or the third round?
Pretty sure that was the third round. They were
Okay.
sparring, and because I mean the second round he had him down, both legs sort of tied in, and he just
Yeah.
wailing on top of him. And the
Okay.
third round he had that, and I think it was like about midway through because he got that hit, and that's when he turned it from a sparring match to an on the ground thing again,
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're
which
right.
lasted maybe a minute 20 in that round. I think something like that.
Yeah.
But I think like that punch, like when I saw that, immediately thought Connor went down, and like I
Oh,
was
yeah.
gonna go completely crazy in that moment because I wanted to see a knockout in this fight. Like that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I think
And
everyone did. Yeah.
that was another one where it was just so quick, and Connor's flying backwards, and
Yeah.
then he's stumbling up. And I'm like, this dude's still going? Like,
Yeah.
how's that possible?
Well, I think from a wrestling, like Habib, obviously he is a definite wrestler. But one of the things they're able to do is because you're so worried about the takedown, is you act like you're shooting in and just come over the top with the right. And that was something that they had said they had prepared for, but because he had just been standing up and jabbing, he never really threw anything. I think Connor was a little, well, obviously he was shook and surprised by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just Habib is just good. He is very good at like, yeah, everyone. I think it was kind of consensus that people thought if he had a weakness, it would be on the feet. But man, he kept with Connor real well. Like,
He really did.
I mean, Connor didn't really make him look pedestrian, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree. I think the reason, especially the third round when they were sparring like that, because I really think that was the only time we sort of, except for like maybe early in the first, we saw them sparring
Yeah,
for a lengthy period of time. I think if that spar time would have happened in the first round, completely different.
yeah,
But I think because he set up the 2 rounds before it to slow him down and take that energy out of him, and like you said, maybe it did take out more energy out of Connor than he originally thought.
yeah,
That third round allowed that sparring match to be, I don't want to say in his favor, but definitely more fair than I think. 'Cause I personally think McGregor would take him down in a sparring match. They should. If there was no ground tactics,
Oh, like
McGregor should
just a
have that.
box, like a boxing kickboxing.
Basically,
type thing?
yeah,
Okay,
kickboxing
yeah.
type thing. McGregor should have that, I would think.
You would think so. And
I
I
mean-
mean, like like you said, if you take away the ground game, like Habib can't pretend to shoot and go for the
Oh, yeah.
overhook or the
Yeah.
whatever it is. And like you said, if Habib had tried that in the first round, Connor probably would have been able to counter it. But when he had been taken down so much, like, man, you're so worried about that, and like he comes over he just played Connor the whole night.
He really played with him.
Yeah.
He was toying with him like a cat with a mouse at
Yeah,
sometimes.
I
It was
mean, it was
crazy.
basically Connor's Eddie Alvarez fight when he won the lightweight a couple years ago. Like, it was like that. The way Connor toyed with Alvarez, Habib toyed with Connor. Like, he was able to do whatever he wanted in that cage and had no like fear or
Jeez.
worry of what Connor was gonna do.
Oh yeah.
Um,
He came out of the round looking the same he did when he went in
Oh,
every
yeah.
time.
and just realistically did not look tired at any point in that fight. Which is,
To be honest, he probably took more damage after the fight than he did
Oh,
before.
my
Jumping
God,
out of
yeah.
the cage, he probably took a little bit more damage.
God, and what an idiot. I mean, that honestly, that tainted his win, in my opinion.
I mean, a lot of people didn't think they were going to give it to him because of it.
Yeah. I mean, I
which-
think it's still a possibility. Like,
Mhm.
and,
I mean, at the
yeah,
very least, like they definitely should have held his winnings, and And in my opinion, like I said, I don't enjoy fighting, but as soon as that fight concludes, any other fighting that happens is falls under, criminal or
Yeah.
whatever kind of investigation is taking place in the mall. Like that, it's no longer like it's not a sport anymore.
No.
And
Yeah.
no matter how bad that guy taunts you, no matter how bad whatever he calls your mama or whatever it was, you can't do that. You can't in
No.
any sport, any professional athlete, and even if you aren't a professional, you can't do that. That's just not the right thing to do. And with how well he kept his composure, with everything that Connor said to him,
Yeah.
he loses it about this after the fight. Like that to me doesn't make sense.
No, I agree. Like if he was going to do something, do it during the conference. Like do it before the fight, not after when you had just won your belt. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
and,
Grab your belt and stare the guy in the face, Like
yeah. And
don't hit him.
who
Don't
cares
jump
who
over
his jujitsu coach is? Like, honestly, like you just
random.
proved you're better than him.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to
Seriously.
go after him? Like, just to say like you still suck, I'm still better than. Like, I don't get that. I mean, I
And then-
get the emotion of it, but I don't get that. Like,
Yeah.
I or
he seemed like such a
Khabib's-
reserved and
Yeah.
calm person, and
Yeah.
then to lash out like that, and then like was it the rest of his team or like his coaching staff or what was it that like went out? Someone punched Connor too. Like
Yeah, it was one
I
of his
didn't
friends.
see all of this.
So
But yeah, like I turned the stream off immediately, so I was like done.
no, so obviously when Khabib jumps out, they pull up to like an aerial camera, and you see this guy in red jump in the octagon and just sucker punch Connor. And like the thing is, man, like Connor is very cocky. Like he talks shit for sure, but when he loses, he knows he lost, and
Oh, yeah.
is like humble in that, which is kind of surprising, honestly. And like, man, he was just standing there like, I got my shit rocked. I know it. I'm accepting it. Like that just,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not good for the sport. It's not. Yeah, it just wasn't good.
I mean, it was entertaining to watch. Like it was entertaining for the people because I mean, I know Twitter would like blew up even bigger afterwards.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I mean, still like it's not okay. Whatever happened there, like that can't happen again. Whatever,
No.
whatever they just had to do whatever they can to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. It's not what you want for that sport, obviously.
One more thing I got to ask you
Yeah.
because, like I said, I don't know much about the sport. Is there? And it's completely different than the fight itself, but is there or would it be entertaining to watch a fight that was sort of sanctioned into 5 rounds like that, but each round consisted of different combat styles? If you know what I mean.
They kind of do that already.
You kind of do that. Okay.
Yeah. There's different like organizations that kind of do that. Like I know they have just grappling or it's definitely not like on a mainstream source like
Yeah.
the UFC, but I think there are like local places that'll do that and like bring in like not current fighters but like old fighters that participate in that and kind of do that. So I think there's a market for it. I just don't think it will ever be like a big scale like UFC or boxing is. But I mean, it'd be cool to watch, I think.
Yeah, I'd find it interesting just because when I go into the round, I know like, hey, everything in this round's gonna be karate, everything in this next round's gonna be jiu-jitsu, everything that to me would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess that's more of a, like I said, a spectator who doesn't really know everything within the sport. But anyway,
Yeah.
I was just wondering, so a little curious.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would kind of not necessarily like I don't really know how to put it because I think the cool thing about or the fun thing about UFC is you don't know what's going to happen. Like obviously you know Khabib's going to take him down and that sort of thing, but you don't know
Like the combination of what they're gonna use, and I get from like someone who's experienced, that's really exciting to watch him like combo 2 moves together.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I have no idea what they're doing, so I'm just like, oh, that looks like a half Nelson. Hey,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
so I
That's
get
fair.
what you're saying though. Yeah, from
Yeah.
someone who knows what they're doing, like that would be really interesting. Because I mean, that's essentially what basically the big fighting games like the Smash Bros and stuff is just chain comboing different combos and finding the most effective ones. So yeah, I completely understand that.
I mean, yeah, it's basically just like you said. It's just just like a fighting game. So to finish off that, is there anything else we want to talk about this card? Just besides it was a fun card to watch, and at least it lived up to my money's worth.
I guess absolute last question for you.
Yeah.
I'll answer it before I give you the floor, just so I can do it real quick. Would you pay, or would you like to see a rematch in the near future? I'm going to say, obviously, who would?
With Habib and Connor?
Oh, of course, yeah.
No.
Really? You
Yeah.
wouldn't?
Habib is just
I mean,
so much farther ahead in his wrestling, and I just don't think even like a year is enough time for Connor to get his ground game up to Habib's. And striking wise, they look the same. I mean, Connor might have better like technique or
point.
better like speed, like timing, but Habib stood up with him, and like we said, the third round, like he stood and was like, I'm taking you on the feet, like beat me right now. So
It really seemed like he was like that, too. Like,
yeah,
this is your round to get your shot off, and he just didn't.
yeah. So I mean,
Could anybody compete with him then?
I don't
Like,
know.
does anybody pop into your mind as like, that would be a good fight to see him fight?
I mean,
Or is he just the top of the game?
I think the consensus is Tony Ferguson, to have him fight him, just because they were supposed to fight, and then Ferguson got hurt and had to back off or
Yeah.
draw himself out essentially. But just after watching that fight of McGregor and Habib, man, I don't think anyone touches him. If he wants to retire 30-0, he'll retire 30-0. Like he's essentially the Mayweather of the UFC right now. Just
Gotcha.
now with that said, that's a whole nother tangent.
I know I'm going off into different tangents in my own mind right now. So
But yeah, I don't see anyone beating him. Really,
we'll have to wait and see what happens. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, I would still like to see it because I know Connor goes specifically out and works on the things that he needs to get better at, like especially if he's prepping for an opponent. So I think, like you said, maybe a year isn't enough, but I think it would be closer at that point. It may be a more enjoyable fight to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, would it be the best fight we'd see? Probably, I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
But anyways,
It'll be interesting to see what Connor ends up doing. He signed a 6-fight contract with the UFC, so he's gonna fight again. It's just a matter of who they decide to put in front of him.
oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
I think we are done with UFC 229. Do you want to jump into our pick'ems here for Worlds?
Let's do it. I mean, that ran a little bit longer than expected, so we might as well jump right into
All
it.
right. Here we are. We should be. I got to make your screen a little smaller here.
Oh yeah, do what you need. So for those out there that don't know, League of Legends World Championships going on. All the teams across the league coming together,
That'll work.
or across the world coming together to play. We finally are down to 4 groups of 4. The top 16 teams in the world, according to play-ins, according to all the stats, the points they contribute. What Riot Games does is a pick-em mode where you go and you get to select the order 1 through 4 for each group. And then when the group stage is done, which group stage starts tonight? Starts Wednesday at 1 a.m. So yeah. So by the time this goes up, it will have already started yesterday.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we'll be 2 games deep by the time this goes in, but we're recording this prior to going up. It starts a couple hours from now.
Yep.
Lock it. And so at the end of the group stage, they tally the points for everybody that's locked in one of these, and they give a point system, and you get some kind of reward if you're closest. And then it goes into the knockout stage, and they do the same thing there with the new teams that moved on.
So before we get into this, one question. I thought,
Of course.
oh, Liquid's the other NA team, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Never mind. That I just answered my question.
Yes. Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, and C9 representing NA this year.
So,
First year TSM is not.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I love it.
Well, heck, let's just go by A, B, C, D. So let's start with A. I know just based on the names a couple of these teams, but no idea where they ended up.
I'm like, neither of us are experts on this. I really enjoy watching League, but this year, especially the last year, I have not paid attention to the global stage as much as I should have. So we are going in very little information off this. I'm gonna go right off the bat and let you know though that G2 did have to play through the play-in stage. So they have experience going their way as far as they've played already in this tournament.
Okay.
So that could be good or bad. And they're a pretty darn good team overall, in my opinion. They didn't have the greatest split, but they could always turn on. So
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
I did look up Fong Vu Buffalo. Sorry if
Okay, yeah.
But they did
The
win
Chicago Bulls.
They won their summer split. Just an FYI.
What league was that? That'd be like the Turkish league.
VCS?
Probably the Turkish league.
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I'm completely guessing. That could be like it could also be the Taiwan league because there's some strong teams coming out there.
Oh,
I don't know
I
at
think
the
it's
moment.
Vietnam. That sounds right.
Vietnam could be another one. Yeah.
Yeah, VCS Vietnam. Okay.
Personally, unless they come out with a huge upset, I see them bottom of the bottom. I mean, a Freak of Freaks
Alright,
came
let's
out
move
of
'em.
Korea, so yeah. And Flash Wolves usually they're consistent.
Oh yeah.
How do I put this properly? They're always at Worlds, and they seem to always turn on at Worlds and just make some upsets. So
So okay.
I don't know.
But
That's
doesn't
why this
G2
group's
make
tough.
worlds often?
They do too. That's why I'm saying they're a pretty good team, and they've
Shit.
already played. So that's the tough part for me is where do you put these teams in there? I'm thinking a Freak of Freaks first.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I put
Yeah.
also.
And then it's really for us, it just comes down because only the top 2 teams make it out of each group. So which team makes it out? Is it Flash Wolves? Is it G2?
Oh man. I mean, I just
Europe or LMS? It's like Europe or
Yeah.
Taiwan. That's the Taiwan team, the Flash Wolves.
Man, I just kind of like. I don't even know if I like I don't know any other players. I just kind of like the name. I mean,
It's a cool name and,
and the
a cool
logo's
logo.
kind of cool. Yeah. So
I mean, I know some of their players. Like they got mid lane Perks. He's on fire just about always.
yeah.
Man, Flash Wolves always turns up. That's why. I don't know.
So
It's a tough one.
do we want to just go Flash Wolves at number 2 then?
Let's do Flash Wolves at number 2.
Alright.
Plus, that's EU not making it out of groups, which is always good for NA. So.
Yeah, true that. I can live
Yeah.
with that. All right. Group B, Vitality, RNG, Gen.G, Cloud9.
This is the group of death. By far, the hardest group to get out of. I'm sorry to say it, but Cloud9 would need a miracle run to get out of this group. That's why, personally, I have them in 3rd place because I don't think Vitality's as good as them. I think that
Okay.
they have to beat Vitality both times if they have any chance of getting out of this group.
So I'm guessing then you have RNG at 1. I mean, you would think they make it out, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah. So from what I understand, RNG and Gen.G are making it out. It really comes down to which one's 1 and 2. Like I said, maybe C9 slips up there, but that'd be the risky bet. That'd be like that's you can't. In my opinion, we can't put him in the top 3 if we want any chance of scoring half decent on this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I'm gonna be rooting for him to get top 2.
Well,
I'm rooting for him to
of
win.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'd say because Gen.G is like a super team also from China, I believe. So,
Oh, really?
but I'd say Royal Never Give Up, then put Gen.G, just because in my opinion, Royal Never Give Up seems to do really well at Worlds.
Okay, yeah.
When I've watched them.
RNG did happen to win summer playoffs.
Yep, which is
Um,
huge in Korea.
Yeah, big. Yeah,
Basically, just shoe in for Worlds.
yeah. I mean, realistically, yeah.
Yeah, you win Korea, you go into Worlds.
Yeah.
Favorite team by far. That's why they are the favorite team at Worlds right now. So
Oh shit! But oh man, and Gen.G
Gen.G?
did win the Korea
and or the China
regional
right?
regional finals, or they got.
Or they
fifth
are they
LC
are they
got
Korean
fifth-
too?
They got 5th LCK 2018.
Oh, never mind. So they are. Never
And
mind. They're
then-
Korea too. I was
And
wrong
they
on that.
won the Korea regional finals.
That must be like the play-in that they had or something. Because I think Gen. Oh, I don't know.
I
have
mean,
no
so
idea.
based on that, there, I think I'd have to put RNG at 1, Gen.G, and then just because it's NA, I'm going to put Cloud9 at 3.
As long as EU's on the bottom.
Yep. All right. Group C.
All right. My opinion, these are the most interesting groups. Because anybody could make it out of either one of these groups, in my opinion.
C and D.
Yeah. Oh,
All
yeah.
right, I like it. So let's start with C. Liquid, Mad, Edward Gaming, KT Rolster.
That's the hardest groups. I think first thing we should try to decide is Team Liquid going to make it out of this group? Yes or no?
What did they
I
even
think
do? I don't
that
really.
solves the. My thing is, if any NA team has a shot at going anywhere in world, and sure, Cloud9's looks hot, like they're a good looking team, but the group they're in, it just doesn't look good for them.
So
Liquid is in a good group, though they do have two pretty decent teams. I do think KT Rolster will probably take this group. If Edward Gaming doesn't step up, KT Rolster will probably win this group. Liquid, my opinion, is going to go second. But like I said, you never know. Mad could just step up and win.
So you don't. What do you think? I mean,
Liquid's so far ahead of other NA teams, or at least that's what they showed this last two splits. That they are so far ahead of NA teams that I feel like they could compete with some of the upper China and Korea teams. Not at like I don't want to say consistent level, but not at a like a full blown level. But I mean, in League of Legends in a best series of 5, like there's like so many little things you could do to take a game off somebody that can make a huge difference in a series. And I guess specifically these aren't series; these are just 2 games against your opponent. But I mean that makes it even easier to pick a troll pick or something like that that helps you win that 2 games. I forget. Yeah, 2 games against whatever opponent you need to win. So, in my opinion, Team Liquid could be Edward Gaming. That's what I think is going to happen because that's what I want to happen if NA has any hope of going anywhere. In my opinion.
I mean,
and this is coming from a 100T fan, so you know it's got to be at least like save us somehow, please, Team Liquid.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think KT Rolster, Liquid, Edward, Mad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, if Mad beats Liquid or any of these teams once, we could have an interesting play here. But
yeah, I mean, just looking at division wise or region and results, I think that's probably what I would do also. All right, final group.
All right, 100T goes out first place.
Think so?
No. Like I said, I'll be rooting for them 100% to get there, but it doesn't look like they're gonna make it out. Invictus Gaming is one of those teams that when I saw got drawn into this group, it made me cringe.
Like just in a bad way, like because you just don't.
It just made me realize that like 100 chances to get out of groups went down significantly. Fnatic was the one that were like I could see them contesting with if they were the best team in the group type of thing. But now you got like Invictus Gaming, which just brings the group level up. Now G-Rex, I have no idea. I didn't watch any of the play-in matches for them, so I don't know how good they are.
Where is it?
If they got enough the other team throwing.
They won the Taiwan regional finals, and they just got in the qualifier for a play-in.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I do like their logo and I do like their name.
Yep.
So I hope they do great as long as that's not against the 100T. So with that being said,
so Invictus got second to RNG.
Yeah, which worries me. That's the problem. Like they're like, why couldn't we get like Photon Buffalo Wild Wings over here? Like that would have been. I mean, I know they couldn't have gotten the group with G-Rex, but we actually looking at it, we would want any other team. So
did 100 Thieves make it because they won the spring split?
They made it off of points. So coming from NA, one team makes it off of split with Team Liquid, or else they would have qualified with the most points. One team makes it off, which basically winning first split almost guarantees you enough points to get in spring split. One team qualifies off of points, which this year was 100T because if C9 would have won, C9 would have auto qualified, and then TL would have auto qualified to points. But because TL won, 100T got the next best points because they finished relatively well both splits.
Okay.
And then the play-in is the last one, which C9 dominated.
Man, okay. And Fnatic won spring and summer for EU.
That's why I have them going out first, personally.
So you have Fnatic. You have Fnatic at 1.
Mm-hmm. I have Fnatic. I have Hunter T on 2 on my mine, just because I want them to get out and I want to believe in every part of my bones and that they'll escape groups and make a run for worlds. I really want to see them win worlds. And try have to buy them all. What he promised them, some kind of car, Tesla. I think it was a Tesla for every one of them. And then after he was like, nah, just buy me a house instead.
Yeah,
I want to see that. Like, I want to see that video. So I want them to win. But
okay, bias aside, realistically,
and they're gonna leave third, if not fourth. They might even lose the
so
G-Rex.
I mean, what I have is I got Fnatic, Invictus, G-Rex, 100 Thieves.
Now, let me say though, in the past, when teams have gone over to Korea, specifically NA teams for their boot camp training, a lot of times they crumble. They just crumble. What's the word I'm looking for? They fall apart basically, and they're not their shell of the team they used to be. Or in like Cloud9's case, a lot of times you see them do really well, and they have a really good training camp. 100T, this is being the first year. I don't know what we're expecting. Like I've seen Prawley coach other years and go to Worlds and stuff. Like I've seen Prawley do his thing, so I have high hopes for it. I've seen Aframu perform at Worlds once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong on that, but I have faith in the players that they have, like the coaching staff and everything going on behind it, behind the scenes. But like I said, some teams go over there, like Team Liquid did a couple years ago, and they fell apart. And so it's interesting to see what this team on their first year as an organization, first year at Worlds, what they're gonna do. Like, even if I'm not a fan of these guys, like this is something that's gonna interest you, because if teams can, like if new orgs especially, like I mean, obviously Optic didn't make it this year, or like Golden Guardians hasn't made it yet. But if these newer organizations can step up and do really well internationally, that could be a huge step in the right direction. And I mean, not even performance, but just like boot camp and how they practice over there. I mean, the level is so much higher that you would think everybody would get better. Sometimes it's just too intense and teams just fall apart. So I'm hoping we can see 100T do something good out of this.
I mean, obviously, being NA, it'd be nice to see all of the teams do well, but yeah, I mean, like you said in the past, it's just these other regions are just. I mean, why do you think that is, though? Really, I mean, I feel like all the teams probably put in, the same. Well, not necessarily the same, but they all have probably the same access to training or time or coaches, or they. All of these teams have houses, whether they live there, but they all train at one location. They're all like, what do you think truly just separates Korea or even China from NA? Like, why is NA so much lower compared to these teams?
I think it's two distinct things, and I think it's the sort of similar reason constantly behind NA for Call of Duty. The practice, like the practice over there, the practice level is so much higher. If you're playing solo queue, if you're just looking for another team to scrim, it's so much more competitive over there. And that takes me to the second point, is the culture. The culture over there is so much about esports and specifically League of Legends.
Right.
Like, in some ways, League of Legends players over there are equivalent to our pro athletes. Like, they get the same response from the crowd, from fans on the side of the street, from, if you haven't seen it, go YouTube Faker walking through China airport. It's a cyclone around him of just people, fans. Like, that is the culture over there. They are in love with it. They are passionate about it. They are 5 years ahead of where we are right now. They like that. Don't put the number on it literally, but they are ahead of
they are def for sure. I mean, so with that being said, do you think NA will ever get to that point where, I mean, not even, it doesn't even have to be League of Legends, but just esport personalities in gen. Well, I mean, I guess you could say Ninja in a sense. But do you ever think it'll become so mainstream just player wise in America?
I think it already has. If you look at it, I think what most people recognize as the first emergent esport character was EShot.
Oh yeah.
He came off on the scene, and I mean, sure, Faker, best player in the world at League of Legends at the time when this down, but and sure, he's making a huge name for himself over there. But we got Nadeshot over here making Red Bull deals and
Yeah.
basically getting every sponsorship in the book and posting videos, hitting 1 million subscribers. Like he's doing all this stuff. He's taking those leaps, and now we have Ninja, another one who's right behind. I mean, well, now ahead of them,
Yeah,
but came right behind him as far as Nadeshot carved that path.
Yeah.
Ninja's like, I found my game, punches a hole right through it, and now he's doing the same thing on a whole different level, I'd say.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to me, sort of side note, to see if Ninja does the same thing sort of Nadeshot does and starts his own org and does his own stuff. Like, obviously, that's something we want to see out of him, or at least I do, because I think he could, like, with all the knowledge he has, once he's done competing, that could be amazing. But going back to it specifically, we have those talents. As far as League of Legends goes, that's where the trouble comes in. When you think of our biggest players that come from NA, like if we did an Olympics and we took all the players that came from NA and put them into the Olympics, like who are big names coming out? Sneaky, Doublelift, like sure, those are big names, but that's not Bjergsen.
No, compared,
It's not sure. Faker, it's not Perks, it's not it's not these other big names that you hear being worldwide. I think also the other thing that might, I don't know if this is hurting us or helping us, but bringing players into the league from other leagues, it helps our league get stronger and it helps NA teams build. Does it help build our youth? Maybe because NA is playing at a higher level, we will be more exciting. We'll get more young people into it. Therefore, maybe fighting the next Faker. But to me, it just seems like it's exciting in the moment, but it's not sort of fixing that, like, hey, we need to get our own superstars in this game. Or maybe this game just isn't for us. Who knows? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we are, like some people say, Call of Duty is North America's esport. Maybe that's sort of what our culture is more designed towards, more, focused on. Like, it seems like maybe we're a little bit more fast-paced in the moment than a strategical overall nature. I don't know if that's too broad of a comparison, but
yeah, no, I mean, I get what you. I mean, I think to kind of just side note a little bit, there is America is very instant gratification, and I think Call of Duty kind of fulfills that in the sense it's so fast-paced and
that I think, exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I think we also kind of have a patience problem. Where League of Legends, like, man, you could go 15 minutes without a kill at times, but the thing that I really do like about League is the strategy is so more to the game in the sense, like, man, you might wait 15 minutes for that first kill, but once that happens, like, some stuff's just going to start happening.
It just a chain of events
snowballs. Yeah.
Which, I mean, you get that in times, like you get that in smaller snippets in COD, like search and destroy.
Yeah.
That first pick happens, all that noise goes off, a bunch of plays are made right afterwards. Like, you do get that, but yeah, like you said, it's much more instant in COD than it is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a search round. I think they're 90 seconds, or are they 10 minutes? Yeah. So I mean, compared to
something like that,
you got let's just say each round does their full. Let's just say 60 seconds. You got 11 minutes of a full map where League can go at, like, average, would you say probably 40 minutes?
Depends on the meta, but yeah, I'd say like 30 minutes is probably like a good average point.
Like a lot longer than like even a whole Call of Duty series, right?
I mean, I'd say, yeah, probably one, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, Call of Duty series, if you're playing a best of 5 in Call of Duty, you're probably spending just about the same amount of time as you would in a long League of Legends game. It also depends on how long you're taking in between maps and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as the focus goes, like it's constant 40 minutes of focus. It's you can't break focus for a minute. I mean, the only time you're allowed to break focus in League of Legends is if you're dead. And even then, you can't, because you're instantly buying items and you're figuring out where you have to be on the map next. You're calling out for teammate. There's so many things to be doing in those moments that it's 40 minutes of undivided attention on one thing where one mistake can cost you everything you've been working for. That one misclick can lose you an entire team fight, which snowballs, like you said, can be a chain reaction to the entire game. It's such a more technical game that their culture, like I said, just seems to be more of that, that Zen sort of slow, like you said, patience oriented sort of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working for them.
Mm-hmm.
Is what we need to do change our culture so we're a little bit more Zen?
I
No,
mean,
no, I
I
don't
don't
think
think so
so.
either.
But is it right now providing results for them? Maybe that's a part of it. I mean, I definitely think that's why Call of Duty or something like that was bigger for years and years over here than
Mm-hmm.
Legends is. But
Yeah.
now League of Legends obviously is taken off to the point where it's the largest esport out there for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of viewership and just overall quality, and I think for the
I,
most part is fairly. You could probably jump in and it's not too hard to understand. I mean, the overall game is a lot more, but
mm,
just from watching, I don't think it's too complex. I guess.
it's one of those things, sort of like football, where you
Yeah,
can watch it
that's
from
a
a
good.
spectator point of
Yeah,
view, and you don't have to understand the route, the play, the formation. You just got to understand who's who and who's about to win.
yeah,
Like, did that guy score a touchdown? Is he part of my team? Then I can celebrate. Did the red guys just get assassinated by the blue guys? I can celebrate. Like,
yeah,
it's very easy to pick up like that. But yeah, like me, like when I watch football, I don't know the formations. I don't watch for routes. I never played, so I never learned that kind of stuff. But I can enjoy when a good play happens, and I can sort of see things before it happens in certain scenarios.
yeah,
People could do that in league because I mean, for the most part, it's like you said, it's very they're almost very similar when it comes down to like the way they're played.
mm-hmm.
Is it's almost like you build up for a short burst of action,
Yeah,
um, which I think that's about the extent of how they're similar. But yeah, it's very technical where everybody has a role to do it. If someone messes up, it could throw off the whole play. So
yeah. No, I honestly that was an excellent comparison. I mean, I don't think, yeah, like thinking about it, like after you say it, it's like, man, they actually are like both those
yeah,
like League of Legends and football. They are actually pretty similar when you think of it.
oh yeah, which
That
is why
yeah,
I mean, League
that
of
was
Legends
great.
is such a heavily viewed thing.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
just like
so
football.
with that said, I mean, we got our worlds locked in. Hopefully,
Hopefully, we're 100% right.
hopefully it turns out pretty well. If
Get
not,
that.
we have the knockout stage to go once that happens. Basically, to
That's
wrap up at least this part, do you have anything else you want to talk about Worlds, which once the video's up has started? Is there anything you want to touch on real quick?
Video's going up Thursday. 100T plays Thursday. Make sure you tune in and represent
Yep,
100T for life.
I can live with
Other
that.
than that, go NA at Worlds. That's all
Yeah.
I have to say.
Fair enough. So that basically is going to wrap up that. In the next episode is going to be our Call of Duty Black Ops 4 special. I would at least, I mean, if we can take time off from playing the game, I would expect it to be a little bit longer than our first two. But man, if that game's good, it might just be another
We've been
shorter.
debating.
Yeah,
We think we're trying to figure out if we should do like just sit down, bust out an hour of talk about it, and then get back into it, or if we should do like an hour of talking and then an hour of
yeah,
playing live. We're trying to figure out what we want to do for that, but it
yeah,
definitely will be almost 100% Call of Duty oriented.
yeah,
Hopefully, we'll have more teams by then locked
yeah.
in, so we'll have all kind of roster mania.
I mean,
Who knows? Maybe even a special guest. We'll see.
yeah, I mean, I
We'll
would
see.
think really it's just going to be all Call of Duty esport related. Definitely a lot of Blackout. I think that's
No.
probably what at least we will be playing the most is Blackout with,
Blackout.
I think we'll have to play some multiplayer matches just to know what it is and what's like different maps and what our first impressions of maps are. And like you said,
Okay.
if we can get another guest in here, might as well see if he wants to. We'll at least reach out and talk to him about that. But
More the
from,
merrier.
from that, I mean, that pretty much wraps up episode 2 of EShot. If you are on the Twitch stream, go ahead, follow. I'll also have the YouTube link down below. And if you are on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, leave a like, helps us out. And if you want to, leave a comment. Tell us if there's anything
I like to read them, even if
Yeah.
they're negative.
Yeah,
Constructive
negative or
criticism is
positive.
amazing.
Yep.
Just anything.
Just throw it
Preferably
down there.
constructive criticism. Make it sound positive. It's going to be negative at the very least. I will read them all.
See, there you go. Your time won't be wasted if you leave a comment. With that said, I think we are all done for today. Keo, go ahead and close us out.
Thank you for watching EShot episode 2. We'll see you in episode 3. Later.
See you guys. Thank you.